myself is Mrs. Lakshmi K. I have completed MSc Nursing, working as a Associate Professor in ES College of Nursing, Viluppuram. Today, I am going to discuss one of the important topic, that is partograph. Partograph plays a major role in identifying the deviation from the normal labor, as well as progress of labor can be assessed. So, in this partograph, it's very helpful for obstetrician as well as midwife to make a role of them correctly. So what is a partograph? It's mainly essential tool in safe motherhood program in order to identify the abnormal labor earlier itself, so that we can able to take the action earlier and to reduce the maternal and neonatal complication. So in modified WHO partograph, so the latent phase is what is, first of all we should know what is latent phase and what is active phase and what is transition phase. So what is latent phase? The latent phase is nothing but when the cervical dilatation is 0 to 4 centimeter, we call it as latent phase, and active phase is that is 5 centimeter to till full dilatation of the cervix, that is 8 centimeter, we call it as active phase, and transition phase entirely there is a ready to expel the fetus, that is 8 to 10 centimeter dilatation. So when according to WHO modified partograph, the cervical dilatation will be started to mark from the 4 centimeter onwards in the partograph. And what is the definition of partograph? So the partograph is a composite graphical record of key data. Key data, that is mother cervical dilatation, distance, fetal heart rate, drugs infusion, all those things will be marked. Mother as well as fetal data will be marked during labor, that is against the time interval, how much it is in a single sheet of paper. So cervicograph. So what is cervicograph? Cervico means not the cervix graph. So cervical dilatation, how it is happens, that has been plotted in the graph. So in the cervicograph, before going to that, we should know what is alert line and action line. If you see the picture, you will be understanding what is alert line and action line. So alert line is nothing but it starts from 4 centimeter WH, according to WHO, 4 centimeter onwards till full dilatation of the cervix at the rate of 1 centimeter per hour. If the alert line, the cervicograph falls on the alert line or left to the alert line, easy that progress of labor is good, it will be expected normal vaginal delivery. So action line is drawn 4 hours to the right and parallel to the alert line. Then why this action line is drawn means, so the word itself says action. If the cervicograph falls on the next to the alert line, right to the alert line or action line, we have to take some measures to deliver by whether normal or whether induction, whether cesarean, that decision has been taken here. So in a normal labor, the cervicograph should fall either on the alert line or left to the alert line. That is a normal one. If here we again divide the zone. Left to the alert line is called zone 1, right to the alert line is called zone 2, and action line next is a zone 3. So if suppose when the alert line, that is when the cervicograph falls right to the alert line, we have to critically assess what is changes take place, what is the problem, why it is occurring, why the progress of labor is not occurring has to be assessed. And if the cervicograph falls on the action line, immediate action should be taken by the senior person, and whether we have to terminate the labor by either cesarean section or by augmentation of labor, that is amniotomy or oxytocin infusion. So cervicograph mainly here how we mark in the cervicograph, that is cervical dilatation is marked after vaginal examination as X in relation to the alert line and action line. Parallelly, the cervical dilatation alone will not help for normal vaginal delivery. That has to be parallelly descent of the fetal head should occur. Why descent of the fetal head is important? As we know that the baby has to descend through the pelvis and has to come out. So if there is any inlet or mid pelvic or outlet contraction, contracted pelvis or in the any of the areas, then it leads to poor descent of the fetal head, obstruction or prolonged labor may happen. So we cannot expect normal delivery. That has been assessed earlier itself when you start to plot the descent of the fetal head in the partograph. So that has been assessed by abdominal examination, that is immediately after doing the vaginal examination, we can do the 5/5 formula and you can assess the fetal descent through abdominal examination. And also descent of the fetal head has been assessed through the station of the fetal head, that is at the level of ischial spine is 0 station, above the ischial spine is the minus station, below the ischial spine is the plus station, that is progress of labor is good if it is below the plus station. So as we know that the first stage of labor, as already I said, the latent phase, active phase and transition phase. If the cervical dilatation is 0 to 4 centimeter, it will last for 8 hours. That is latent phase. And active phase begins with the 4 centimeter dilated and completed when cervix is fully dilated. Transitional phase, that is cervix from around 8 centimeter dilated until it is fully dilated. Next, the key concepts of partographs, that is mainly already we discussed, alert line and action line. The cervical dilatation is marked as X, and descent of the fetal is plotted as a circle. Then hours, that is you know that the labor, first stage of labor is 12 hours. So 1 hour you have to mark here. And time, if the, for example, if the patient is coming with 4 centimeter dilatation at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. means you have to start the time of 8 a.m. Not the patient pain has started night 8 a.m. means the 8 p.m. that should not be marked here. So this is very important. Now we can see the difference of normal labor and prolonged labor cervicograph. So this is very important for known for all the midwives and obstetrician, so that we can able to identify the alteration or deviation from the normal labor can be identified. Let you see that a normal labor, the cervicograph has fall on the left to the alert line, so that it is good progress of labor, so normal delivery can be expected. At the same time, you see the descent of the fetal head, 3 by 5, 2 by 5, 1 by 5. That is 3 by 5, the head is just engaged. Second one is engaged into the pelvis, and 0 by deeply engaged. So the head is descending, progress is good. So normal labor, it is if it is false, the cervicograph falls on the alert line or left to the alert line is the expected normal vaginal delivery. You see the prolonged labor partograph, that is it is also started from 4 centimeter to full dilatation. That is if the patient at 10 o'clock she is admitted means 4 centimeter, and then that is 5 hours after also 6 centimeter, and 7 hours also 6 centimeter. The dilatation is, the cervicograph has fallen to the zone 2, as well as it is not further assist, but it is not delivered normally. Again it falls on the action line. So we have to go for the termination of labor by either cesarean section or by induction of labor. That is very important. And also you see the cervical descent of the fetal head, that also it is in the static 3 by 5 descent only. It is not engaged into the brim, that is it is not engaged into the pelvis, so we cannot expect the normal delivery. So this shows this easy to identify the normal and prolonged labor or obstructed labor, so that prompt action can be taken. And you just see the components of the partograph. As we know that patient identification data and fetal heart rate, amniotic fluid and cervicograph, and then contraction, oxytocin drugs, then pulse, BP, blood pressure, then urine analysis, temperature, all those things are marked in the single sheet itself, so that the data also will be there after delivery, that spontaneous vaginal delivery has happened, live female, infant weight, all those things will be easily known. Data will be received. So first we will be discussing what is patient identification. So you know that name of the patient, what is gravida, that is gravida in a sense number of pregnancy irrespective of gestational age, whether she is a first pregnancy, second pregnancy or third pregnancy. And para, number of, it is also indicate the pregnancy when the pregnancy crossed beyond the period of viability, that is 28 weeks. That is we used to monitor after delivery, that is para 1. So that we have to know that hospital number, IP number, date and time of admission, and period of gestation, whether the mother is in the term 38 weeks completed, 37 weeks completed or 40 weeks, that we can know. And rupture of the membrane, so that is very important when the membrane has ruptured. As we know that if the membrane also ruptured for prolonged time, that is considered as a septic one. If the membrane has ruptured from outside of the hospital or institution, we consider as a septic case and we have to treat as a septic one. Labor also should be conducted in the septic labor room. And time, you know very well, time interval is very important, and 0 time for spontaneous labor is a time of admission in the labor ward, and for induced labor is a time of induction. When you are giving induction, for example misoprostol induction or balloon catheter induction, or you are giving oxytocin infusion, whatever induction you are doing, that is a time for induced labor to mark. And next one is fetal heart rate. So as we know that the fetal heart rate is very important one to know that the fetal is alive. So it is a good parameters to know the fetal well-being. So that has been monitored by CTG. We will use to monitor. So this will be recorded every 30 minutes once. So here normally it is 110 to 150 beats per minute. If there is variation, fetal bradycardia is there, that you have to consider and you have to take prompt action. And also one more normal phenomena is when the uterine contraction is there, the fetal heart rate variability will be there. So once the contraction falls off, it comes to normal. Okay, but if the once the contraction also pass off, but the fetus heart rate is very less, our bradycardia is persisting, we have to take immediate measures to save the life of the baby. That is very important. And next one is state of membrane and color of liquor. So state of membrane is nothing but whether the membrane is ruptured or not ruptured. So if suppose the membrane is ruptured, it is main role of the nurse to know two things, that is color of the liquor and whether there is a cord prolapse is there, you have to do the PV examination, you have to identify. So same way in this year, the membrane is whether ruptured means intact means that is I. Ruptured means R. Once the membrane ruptured, you have to see that color liquor and meconium stained liquor, blood stained liquor is there. So we know that meconium stained liquor, the amniotic fluid is get density is increased. When the baby swallows that, it blocks the respiration and baby can't cry. Immediately the IUD or stillbirth may happen. That has to be ruled out here itself and you have to take cesarean section. You should not wait for normal vaginal delivery. And next we move on to the cervical dilatation and distance of the head. So already we discussed in the cervicograph and fetal distance detailing. Then uterine contraction. So we know that for normal labor process, how the cervix is dilated with the help of the uterine contraction only, where the fundus is contracting so that the lower uterine segment get dilates. So the thickness and density of the fundus will be increasing because of uterine contraction, whereas the lower segment become thinning and dilatation happens. So uterine contraction is important one in the labor process, that has to be recorded whether the uterine contraction is adequate or not. If the poor contraction is there, we can augmentation of labor can be done. Already the contraction is started, but it is not adequate to expel the fetus. In this condition, we can augmentation of induction of labor can be done with the help of oxytocin drugs. Then here we note the frequency, intensity and duration has to be noted. So intensity, frequency is nothing but the interval between the two contractions, and the duration, how long the one contraction is there, that has been marked in seconds. Intensity is nothing but the intense pressure of the uterine contraction, that has been monitored. So here by 10 minutes observation, how many contractions are occurring. So minimum 5 contraction it may happen. That's why they given in the pantograph as 5 columns. So according to that, we will be marking if the contraction duration is less than 20 seconds, that is greater than 20 seconds, that is we have to mark in the dotted line. If the contraction is between 20 to 40 seconds, you have to mark as a slash. If the contraction is greater than 40 seconds, you have to shade completely in black, so that it indicates that severe contraction. So we can expect the normal vaginal delivery, good progress of labor is there, and the seconds is very important, that is 1.5 minutes contraction usually occur in the transition phase of labor. So uterine contraction monitoring is very important. That plotting is also important to note the progress of labor. So next components are drugs and fluids. So already I said oral infusion will be there for the mother. Along with that, oxytocin infusion also will be there. So how much dose and drops can be written up and down. And blood pressure should be monitored every 2 hours. If there is a preeclampsia patient, already known case of hypertension, in that condition you can mark as every half an hour once also. Pulse every 30 minutes you have to mark, and then oxytocin concentration in the upper box and dose in the lower pole. Then urine analysis. Why we have to analyze the urine here in the labor process? So we know very well that normal labor time, if the labor has occurred, the mother able to tackle their normal biological and metabolic process. But if she is having a prolonged labor, any obstruction, big baby or any pelvic contraction is there, so it leads to prolonged or obstructed labor. In that condition, what happened, the mother keep on strain and she will be losing all her carbohydrate energy, and she is lacking of further energy, so that our deposited fat may started to metabolize, and which releases the gives the energy, and the end product is ketoacidosis. So ketone acetone breath smell also will be there, and urine excretion will be there. That's why we have to assess the urine analysis for acetone volume and albumin. Urine output also may reduce in case of keep on staining, all our energy is lost, dehydration may happen. So acetone and volume albumin has to be assessed, and temperature has to be recorded if it is necessary. Next, advantages of a partograph. As we know that partograph is a single sheet which gives a elaborate information for the patient. So we no need to record the labor event repeatedly to various documentation is not needed, various data is not needed. Only this sheet itself can provide a lot of information which is necessary for knowing the progress of labor. So and also it helps to predict the deviation, as we have seen the normal labor partograph and the prolonged labor partograph. With a simple one glance itself we can able to see the whether the progress of labor is there, whether any deviation there, that can be taken immediate action in time, so that we can save the life of the mother and the baby. Here baby and mother is very important, well-being of the both of them is important, so that we can avoid the complication to them in the future. And next one, it is facilitate handover procedure. So we can hand over, that is one shift is changing, nurse midwife can hand over to another nurse. With the help of the single sheet itself she can able to hand over, and helps to reduce the incidence of prolonged and cesarean section rate, because earlier itself you are identifying, you can go for augmentation of labor or induction of labor if there is poor uterine contraction or inadequate uterine contraction, or if the cervical dilatation is not happening, we can go for cesarean section also, and reduced maternal morbidity, perinatal morbidity and mortality. So as we know that majority of the death, maternal death may happen immediately after birth of the baby, that is due to PPH. This PPH, why it is occurring? Because of prolonged labor, keep on the mother is staining, obstruct the labor, the membrane, all the blood vessels are, that is she is contracting well, but it is not expelled. In that condition there is a chance for traumatic injury may happen because of prolonged labor or obstructed labor, that may lead to PPH. And along with that atonicity of the uterus may not contract properly, that may also leads to PPH, that leads to maternal morbidity, perinatal morbidity and mortality. So the partograph plays a vital role in identifying the complication of maternal and neonatal year itself, so that we can prevent the maternal mortality and morbidity, neonatal mortality and morbidity. Thank you so much for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.